Hey, what up, everybody? It's Moss coming to you with another bit of modern content, and today we're running just straight up Boros energy. Now, this is Young Dingo's list that he recently did well with in a modern challenge. I believe he ended up coming in like top 8, maybe top 4 with it. We decided to do just one small little tweak to this. So, for those of you that aren't familiar with what Boros Energy does, or with what Mardu Energy or Naya Energy, all of these different energy decks in Modern, you're basically playing a Guide of Souls, playing Ocelot, Pride, Raptor, any number of other creatures to pump up your energy as much as possible, give them flying, or alternatively, you're playing Galvanic Discharge to just blow up an opponent's creature with all the energy that you've got stored up. These Boros energy decks, because they are just two colors, can run a little bit more removal. So it's got the traditional energy package of Galvanic and Static. It's also running Lightning Bolt. Now, because this is just a simple two color deck with a good bit of actual single color lands in it, we're also running Blood Moon in the main. Great to deal with all of the Eldrazi stuff that's going on right now. Fantastic. It's also running Fable of the Mirror Breaker. One of the things that this deck kind of struggles with is card draw, just being able to put stuff into its hand and filter through and look for the stuff that it needs. Even sometimes just throwing a Flage from your hand into the yard as quickly as possible. Fable does that. I'm a little iffy on Fable in Modern. I know it was good the last time that a Horizon set came out when we were dealing with Rakdos Scam. I'm kind of questioning its efficacy, but again, if Dingo's doing well with it and if other people are doing well with it, it's still probably got some staying power. One change that I made from Dingo's list is he was running 3 Blood Moons. I split it between 2 Moons and 1 copy of Goblin Bombardment. One of the biggest things that I've enjoyed doing with the Mardu lists is taking a Johnny token and then sacrificing it to an Ob Nixilis or pinging it with an Orcish Bowmaster. I think this deck does kind of miss that. So Goblin Bombardment's there to send a damage in any direction the way that Orcish Bowmaster would. It helps you flip your Ajani. And it's a red permanent to also help your Ajani deal extra damage as you're trying to go through the motions here. Sideboard, about what you would expect. A couple more Static Prison, Celestial Purge. These are to deal with like the big problematic permanents, the One Ring, all the stuff out of Mono Black Necro Dominance. You've got Sun Cleanser here because dealing with the opposing energy decks is going to be important. Harsh Mentor because Nadu. Bone Crusher Giant to deal with the One Ring. Soul Guide Lantern to deal with graveyard decks, dredge, stuff like that. And an extra copy of Flage in the sideboard to kind of hedge the mirror match, maybe deal with some of the burn decks that are popping up, and obviously emotional support, Giganta. One of the other things that I'm not too big on with this particular sideboard plan is it's not really paying a lot of respect to the Storm deck. Maybe a couple of copies of Dranith Magistrate, maybe any number of things. This seems very weak to the deck. Damping Sphere would be great, but we're going to run it, see how it does in a modern league, and I'll see you guys in match number 1. Alright, match number 1, we're going to be on the play. Let's reveal our companion, and hand looks pretty solid. I can't honestly argue with most of the stuff we got here. We'll keep it. Got a couple removal spells, some lands, and a Goblin Bombardment and an Ocelot Pride, which we're going to play on 1 off of our Sacred Foundry, and say go. Okay, opponent plays a Mox Amber, and they play a Steam Vents, Ragavan. Okay, sick. Well, we're just going to go ahead and move to attack here. See if our opponent blocks. They decide to Unholy Heat. That kind of bites. Okay. So we're just going to go ahead and shock this in, play another Ocelot Pride, and we're going to go ahead and Galvanic Discharge this monkey. We don't want him to... Oh, no! We didn't use the energy. Oh, we are so dead. Okay. So that misclick is going to cost us. Opponent plays an Emery. They put a Basim in the yard. And a Tamiya. Oh my gosh. Opponent's going to go off. Oh no. We could have stopped our opponent from taking an insane turn. And now I don't know what we're going to do here. Okay, let's start by killing this Emery. That's step number 1. Let's go ahead and attack him with this Ocelot Pride. Please don't do anything with this Scalding Turn, opponent. Don't shock it in. Why? Okay, so we've got 2 Ocelot Prides that are down. And we're just going to go ahead and play this Bombardment and watch as our death just slaps us in the face. Yeah. Attack in with Tamiyo and Ragavan. What's Ragavan hitting? They hit a Fable. I mean, if I was them, I would just go ahead and play this Fable off the Mox Amber and the 2 Steam Vents. It's like a guaranteed flip next turn. Yeah. Yeah. And we drew a Lightning Bolt for turn. Okay, let's play this Elegant Parlor out, and we'll bin that. We're going to have to go ahead and just kill the Tamiyo here, because we don't want her to flip and start really just getting control of this game. I mean, Ragavan's going to do a lot to take us out here. Good news is a Johnny off the top is going to be kind of nice. Hopefully our opponent doesn't get in a Johnny off the top. Okay, and we're down to 10. Opponent's at 15. They hit a Flage. I mean, they could absolutely play out this Flage if they wanted to. But it'd be so smart for them not to. They've got a Thassa's Oracle in the yard. I guess with Basim and everything else, they can just kind of go off. Okay, they've got an Underworld Breach. Two treasure tokens are hitting the yard. They're playing a Emery. And I guess they can just maybe keep going off of all of these Emerys? So, yeah, they can keep Emery looping for a little bit. They've got a 1 ring in yard now. Grinding Station. Okay, so this is just an Underworld Breach and Station deck. So they want to focus on milling themselves. And another Emery. Milling a bunch of stuff. There's a Mox Amber. They can keep going. And there's another Mox Amber in the yard. I think they've got us. I think we're cooked. So we're just going to go ahead and concede. Oh my gosh. That was such a bad punt for us. Okay, what do we want here? Well, Harsh Mentor would almost be good. Let's go ahead and take a Soul Guide Lantern And since it's not symmetrical, we kind of feel okay. We'll take out, honestly, the Ragavans aren't the greatest. And let's see. Static Prison could be really good. Bone Crusher could be good because it gets around the one ring. Sun Cleanser is going to be useless. Yeah, let's cut all of our Ragavans. And let's cut the Blood Moons. Because it doesn't really seem like that's going to help us a lot when they've got the artifact that lets them go off. And let's bring in Static Prisons and I think we'll just bring in the Bone Crushers and cut one of these Fables because they're pretty slow. And say go. Alright, gonna be on the play again. Reveal the companion. Okay, this hand, if it just had a like red-white source instead of this single mountain, it would be good. I think we got a mull. Okay, we can definitely keep this one. We're gonna put back an extra copy of Static Prison. And we'll play Ocelot Pride on 1. Okay, so fetch, shock, the cat, say go. Opponent plays Scalding Tarn, and they're just passing. We get an Elegant Parlor. We're going to play the Elegant Parlor. We'll keep this Guide of Souls on top and hope that it sticks. Alright, there's the fetch. There's the dead cat. Yeah. We're going to go ahead and play out this Soul Guide Lantern. And we'll take the Unholy Heat out of their yard. And I hope that they don't dash out a Ragavan. Okay, they just start with a bobble. And they bobble themselves. And they're not fetching here. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and play this Amped Raptor out. And Amped Raptor triggers. And we'll get an Ajani. Sick. Ajani's probably eating it at some point, but that's fine. We also hit just 5 lands, and Ajani did in fact eat it. Unholy Heat took him out. So what really sucks is that we're a 22 land deck. We took out 4 lands off of that Amped Raptor. That puts us down to 18. These are 16. And we've got 17 left in deck. Opponent plays a Basim. Can opponent go off here? The problem is they might be able to. Oh, it only triggers once a turn. Sick. That's really good. Alright, so we'll pay that. We will play Guide. And we're going to go ahead and exile Basim. And I really wonder if we want to just go ahead and maybe play out this Static Prison and take their Mox Amber. But I don't know if we want to. So we're just going to attack in for 4 here. And say go. Okay, opponent's fetching. Probably just getting a surveil land. Yeah. Alright. So we're definitely not in a great spot. There's an Emery. What are they binning? They've been Underworld Breach, Basim, and Tameo. Honestly, it might be a really good time depending on what we hit here. Okay, Static Discharge is great. We will... Or Galvanic Discharge. We're going to go ahead and Static Prism this Emery. Take her out. And opponent's thinking about doing something. Ooh. Ooh. Casting Flame of Anor. Okay. I'm surprised that they drew two instead of just killing our Soul Guide Lantern, but I can see that they don't want us to like make our creatures fly and hit for more damage, which is reasonable. Dang, so it's almost like Grixis Wizards? Okay. So opponent plays a Basim. They play a Tameo. They've got land. Alright, we're going to go ahead and kill Tameo. Making sure that we actually pay the energy this time. And move to end step. And I think we're just going to go ahead and pop this and draw a card. Because right now we've got our opponent under a lot of pressure. Okay, Lightning Bolt's good. And Bone Crusher. So what's crazy is we actually have lethal. Let's see if opponent does anything. And we'll put a stop in their upkeep. Okay. So let's see if opponent fetches. Alright. They're fetching. We're going to go and hit them with this Bone Crusher. Stomp them. And we get there. Sick. Alright. So... I really want to bring these Blood Moons back in. I think on the play they're really good. On the draw they're not. So we'll keep those out. Goblin Bombardment does feel really weak. So we'll swap there. And say go. Okay. And we'll reveal the companion. Okay, so we can go Ocelot Pride into Ether Hub Amped Raptor and just hit like anything in our deck, which is pretty cool. I don't hate that. And then we got Fable on turn 3. Alright, yeah, we'll keep. Opponent mulligans down to 6. Alright. And they just start off with Watery Grave. Watery Grave Tameo. Okay. So I think the move might just be to kill Tamio here, because we don't want her gaining any more value than what she already has. Okay, opponent just plays Polluted Delta and passes. We hit a Flage for turn. We're going to play this Ether Hub out, and we're going to go ahead and just play the Amped Raptor. Alright, Lightning Bolt's not bad. We'll bolt our opponent's face. Opponent fetches. They're going to get a Surveil land. Would have been really cool if we could have hit a Blood Moon there, but it is what it is. They bin a Steam Vents. And they play Urza's Saga. Okay. Urza's Saga do nothing. Let's go ahead and attack with the Amped Raptor. And second main will play another Ether Hub. We will play a Johnny. A Johnny lands. They Fatal Push a Johnny. And we'll play an Ocelot Pride. And then if they decide to play any of their creatures this next turn, okay, they just play Mox Amber? I don't hate that. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and let's just play out this Elegant Parlor. We will bin a Marsh Flats and attack with everything but this Ocelot Pride. Okay, they're making a token. Their token's going to block our Cat Warrior. That's fine. Alright, so now we're going to play Flage and spend an energy. Next turn we can bring Flage back if we hit a land. I mean, it might not have been worth it to bin that Marsh Flats, but it does seem just a little bit better. Opponent's at 7. We made a cat token. Okay, opponent's making another construct. They get a Springleaf Drum. They play a land. And it looks like they're just passing. Okay, so we are going to play Static Prison. Take their construct. That's never coming back. We're going to play out a Fable. Alright, we make a token. We have the City's Blessing. As long as this Ocelot Pride lives through this turn, we are so there. Alright. We make it to the end step. Opponent's cracking their fetch. They're getting an Undercity Sewer. Can we make a bunch of tokens? Sick. Alright, we make a cat and we make another Goblin Shaman. And we get there. Let's go. Alright, see you guys in match number 2. Alright, match number 2, and we're going to be on the draw. Reveal the companion. Hand is sick. Ocelot, a Johnny, Fable, and Bolt. Yeah, we keep this. So we're going to start off with just Sacred Foundry Shocked and a Pride. Opponent plays Fellmire. Oh god, they're bolting it in. So we're about to get scammed. Okay, so their scam targets are probably Ocelot, Pride, or Johnny. They might take this bolt so we don't take their, like, grief. Yeah, okay. So we're playing against Mono Black. They play Malakir Rebirth. Taking our turn one play. No, they took a Johnny instead. Wow. Alright, well, we're going to go ahead, shock this in. If they have the ability to take out our Ocelot Pride, we feel real bad. They thought sees us. They're going to take our Fable. And they fatal push our cat. They are left with one card in hand. Okay. Amped Raptors, not bad. We're going to play our Ether Hub. Play Amped Raptor, and then hope that we can hit just like any number of things that aren't Galvdis. Ooh. Okay. I meant to say anything that's not a Goblin Bombardment, but you know what? Galv Discharge is the sickest like hit there. An opponent's only gonna have two, so they would have to have like land and a Necrodom. Okay, we're gonna play out this Elegant Parlor, see what we hit. Flage would be incredible, buddy. Yeah, we're putting that Flage into the graveyard. Not even a question. Alright, play out the Goblin Bombardment that we just drew. Alright. And then next turn we can just start going in. Alright, opponent doesn't play anything. That's great for us. Alright, let's attack in with the Amped Raptor. Okay, we'll crack our Arid Mesa, get a mountain. Yeah, let's get a mountain here. And then Flage is coming back. White and white. And then we will get rid of all of our creatures. And there's three more at your face. And now if they try to take out any of our creatures with something crazy like a March of Wretched Sorrow, then we can just sack it to Goblin Bombardment. Opponent's probably going to scoop right here. Okay, they play a Marsh Flats. They crack a Marsh Flats. They get a Swamp. They play a One Ring. Okay. I'm down to let that happen. Yeah, I'll cast that. I'll cast that Blood Moon. Now, admittedly, not having the white mana here is going to be kind of bad. Flage is just going to attack and target itself. But that's okay. Opponent's down to 4. And let's go. All right, we got there. Now, against this mono black opponent, Celestial Purge is great. Bone Crusher is great. Static Prison's probably fine. And Blood Moons are for sure coming out. And Ragavan is pretty mid. I still do like the Goblin Bombardment here because it does take away targets. I maybe want to cut an Ocelot Pride. It's like either Ocelot Pride or Flage. And I feel like it's the Ocelot Pride. Yeah, because it's going to die to so much of their deck. There's an argument to take out Goblin Bombardment there, but being able to negate some of their life gain that they'll get off of targeting our creatures is huge. Okay. Guide of Souls, Amped Raptor, Discharge, Prison, and Fable with 2 lands is pretty good. And we don't really want to mulligan against this deck. Okay, opponent's mulliganing down to 6. We'll keep this hand. They're mulliganing to 5. Are they just mulliganing down to the Scam? Okay, they did keep their 5. They went Takenuma, Inkwell, probably taking Guide here. And if they do, we'll just play Marsh Flats and get a Elegant Parlor. Okay. They take Static Prison, which is surprising. Let's go ahead and just shock and say Guide and say Go. And I guess next turn we'll go Marsh Flats and Galvanic, or Marsh Flats Raptor. Okay, they played Boggart Bog. Still have 3 in hand, which is surprising. Alright, we drew an Amped Raptor for turn. We're going to fetch a Plains here. Play out this Amped Raptor. And let's stack the triggers correctly. We'll yield 1, and then we'll do this, and then we'll get a Galv Discharge, and we'll target our Amped Raptor and do nothing. And let's see if we can send our Guide flying. Yeah, we'll happily pay this energy. And it sticks. Let's go. Alright, opponent gets a Bloodstained Mire. Oh, did they just mulligan down to Necrodome? I think they might have. Mulliganing to Necrodome is pretty good. Okay. So they can basically draw as much as they want to. They only draw 5. Okay. So now I think we want to try and do the Raptor plan again. Oh my gosh, we had another Galv Discharge. Okay, we're going to target that one, do nothing. Let's go again. Let's send the Amped Raptor flying. Okay, opponent's going to be down to 4. We could get there, but chances are our opponent has some type of like good spell here. They grief us. They take our other Guide of Souls. They move to their end step. They draw a bunch. They're down to one. And we win the match. Let's go. See you guys in match number 3. All right, match number 3, and we're going to be on the draw. Reveal Jeggy. This hand could be just a wee bit dicey. Like, lots of 3-drops. We do have that Amped Raptor. Let's hope that we draw something on our first draw step. Okay, opponent's just playing Windswept Heath and saying go. Okay, Galvanic Discharge is a thing. We play Arena of Glory. Maybe just a wee bit of a punt there. We could have played Flighted Strand or Marsh Flats and maybe done a little better. Opponent fetches for an Elegant Parlor. Keeps a card on top. Opponent plays Wooded Foothills. Says go. We get another Galv Discharge. Part of me thinks that this opponent's probably just Gruul. I'm gonna fetch for basic planes though. Okay, Amped Raptor flips in Ocelot Pride. We're cool with that. And well, I guess our opponent could just be Prowess. They might be Energy though. They're fetching. Alright, so let's see. Okay, opponent fetch the Thundering Falls, and then they play Snow Covered Forest and get to Fairy. Interesting. So they're like 4 color something? I mean, we're getting this planes. Let's hope they don't. Oh, okay, they don't have a force negation. Sick. Take out the Fairy. Blood Moon's gone. Or Blood Moon's on the table. Okay, they play the One Ring. A little problematic. A little iffy. Okay, there's an Ajani. Let's just go ahead and play Ajani out. Play out this Ocelot Pride. Swing. Oh yeah, that's right. Protection from the One Ring. Yeah, that was little bit of a misplay. Okay. Opponent just goes for a Ren and 6. They're gonna kill one of our things. We will happily flip this Ajani. If they've got something to get rid of it, they got it. Doesn't look like they do. Okay. Anything on our upkeep doesn't look like our opponent does. So we could plus this Ajani now, but I think we just want to go ahead and play this out. And then we will... Let's zero them. Alright, we will shoot down the Ren and 6. And say go with this attack. Like, the biggest thing that we want to do is we want to discard Flage and some other stuff and hopefully get a land. Like, ideally, we would love to just go discard Flage and like a Galv Discharge or maybe one of these redundant copies of... Okay. Okay. We can plus a Johnny. Okay, opponent's got 10 cards in hand. That's crazy. That's crazy. Alright. So, yeah, we're going to yield. Yes, we will use this ability. Let's discard a Galv Discharge and Flage. Let's play out this Sacred Foundry. Let's play out another Ajani. Let's swing in with this Goblin Shaman just for the sake of making the treasure token. And then second main, we will play out Fable. Tick up a Johnny. And then I guess we can discard Galv Discharge and Ragavan. Alright, sick. We get there. Okay, so against 4-color, Bone Crusher seems good. Celestial Purge and Static Prison seem good. I mean, Goblin Bombardment's not going to be the greatest. Flage seems fine. I mean, turboing out Ragavan seems really sick. Or turboing out Blood Moon seems sick. We're going to be on the draw, though. So maybe we side out Ragavans, and I think maybe we side out a copy of Ocelot Pride. And maybe a Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Because, like, dumping things seems good. Actually, Lightning Bolt's the one that we dropped. Because, like, if they play the ring, we're just, okay, we're staring at them. Okay. So do that. Okay. 5 lands, a Johnny, and Static Prison, not great. Momo. 4 lands, Guide, and Bone Crusher. Could this be good? 2 Arena of Glories makes me want to say no, it's not good. Okay. We'll keep this 5. We will bin a Galv Discharge and a Lightning Bolt. Okay. They go turn 1 Xander's Lounge. We're going to go turn 1 Elegant Parlor. I can stand to keep a Guide on top. If they go for Wrenn and 6 here, we feel really okay with what we're about to do. They fetch for a Temple Garden, so now they have Domain. Okay. We don't want to give them any ideas about us having this Blood Moon, so let's Guide. Let's Static Prison. Taking that. And say go. We know that they have a Wooded Foothills in hand, and they've got 61 cards in their deck. Okay, opponent. I don't understand what you're doing, but I respect it. Not much, but I respect it. Tapping for a white? Are they just going to Prismatic Ending how we're... Okay. You get a Forest. Get that back in hand. I mean, this other Plains tells me that I just need to go ahead and do this and hope that I can make it. They might Beseiju this. Okay, they Galv Discharge our Guide, which is cool. Alright, hit me with the One Ring. Draw with your One Ring. Okay. Let's play out the Plains, and we'll play out the Fable. And then we can bin this Flooded Strand, and I mean, if we bin a Flage, that'd be great too. Okay, opponent plays a Commercial District. They take their Wrenn up. We get to... Oh yeah, we're binning both of these in a heartbeat. Yep. Alright, so it's a Guide of Souls and an Ether Hub. Okay. We need to just go ahead and attack down this Wrenn and 6 to stop him from ultimating. Nothing's really going to happen there. Okay, Opponent's at 8 cards in hand. They're up to 11 cards in hand. I mean, a single Besage is really going to turn the tide of this game for them. They just cycle an Indatha Triome? And they get it back? What, are you going to do it again? Apparently, yes. Alright, they play Windswept Heath. They cast Pyroclasm. Okay, cool. Pyroclasm's real good. And they move to cleanup. Okay, we have an Ajani. Now the question is, do we want Ajani more or do we want Jegantha more? I feel like Jegantha's the better play here. Because Jegantha's not getting blown out by, well, really a whole lot. They have Flage, Expressive in their yard. Well, they've got almost everything. Okay, Evoke Solitude. And they put back a Omnath. Wow. Okay. So, good news is if they don't kill this Reflection, we might have a shot at flipping a Johnny next turn. They play out their Indatha Triome, so they're not doing anything crazy with it. They return nothing with their Wrenn. They've got 9 cards in hand and a copy of the One Ring on 4. Okay, they play another copy of the One Ring. So now they're going to be back up to 9. I mean, hitting Flage is going to be sweet if we can do it. They get another Solitude. Okay. Does this opponent not have a Besage anywhere in their deck? Okay. I mean, at this point, I feel like we just go ahead and Static Prison the Wrenn in 6? Well, no, Static Prisoning the Wrenn's not going to do a whole lot. But Static Prisoning the One Ring will, because it cuts him off of drawing. Okay. They draw 1, they're up to 6. They've gotten rid of 2 Solitudes. Okay. They used Force of Vigor. Okay. Now we are cooked. Like, we are super dead. Omnath. And they can just crack all of those. Flage us. Yeah. I think we're going to go ahead and scoop this one up. Because they're just getting insane value here that we could not overcome. Okay. So we're going to go ahead, bring the Ragavans in, and honestly, I think we're going to cut the Fable, cut the Celestial Purge does have a huge number of targets. Static Prison has a significantly lower number. And I think we can run it like this. Okay. So we'll reveal Gigantha. Is this hand good? Arena, a Johnny, Amped Raptor, Celestial Purge. I think this hand's okay. We don't want to mulligan down just for the sake of finding a Blood Moon again, because that really just didn't give us a lot. Opponent's mulliganing to 5. I mean, we're going to start with this Marsh Flats and just fetch for an Elegant Parlor. Okay. Sego. And yield until end step. They play Commercial District. Now, if we have an Ether Hub on top, we probably... Okay, Mesa, bad. Okay, Bone Crusher. Bone Crusher could be fine. I think we do have to go for this a Johnny, though. We'll psych him out a little bit here with this Plains. Save ourselves just a little bit of damage. They're probably going to shock into the Stomping Ground. And do they go for the Wren? They do. Are they going to kill the Cat Warrior? Yes, they do. We'll flip a Johnny. And now I just kind of question, like, well, let's go ahead, do this. Play out Amped Raptor, get the energy. Lightning Bolt will bolt Wren. We'll zero a Johnny. We'll deal 2 to their face. And say go. If they have a Flage of their own, we feel bad. And opponent just scoops it up. Let's go. I'll see you guys in match number 4. All right, match number 4, and we're going to be on the draw. Reveal Jeggy. Hand is like everything I could ever want. Okay. Admittedly, having some removal would be better. And opponent starts by playing a Urza land. Okay, let's honestly just fetch for a Sacred Foundry and play Guide. Say go. They play a Mine. We are a tower away from getting absolutely rocked. Okay, we play Ether Hub. And then we will play a Johnny out. And let's always yield. Okay, we're going to send our Guide flying. Okay, they have Natty Tron. If they have all his dust right here. Okay, they don't have all his dust. I like our chances a little bit more now. I feel like we have to go for Arena of Glory here. I mean, they could just go for like Trinisphere and kind of ruin everything that we're doing. No, they just go for the One Ring, which also ruins everything that we're doing. Okay. So, what could we do? I mean, Amped Raptor's good. Amped Raptor's real good. Let's start by playing Arena. Let's tap like that. I mean, all his dust is going to hurt us. Okay. We'll bolt them. And let's not overcommit in this exact instance. Okay, they draw a couple cards. I mean, if they don't have all his dust here, I almost feel really good about what we can do. I don't hate Myco Spawn. Okay, let's tap this for a red. Okay, opponent's probably just going to get another Urza's Tower. Okay. There's an Ugin's Labyrinth. What are you going to tuck under it? Tuck nothing. That's 3, 4, 5. Okay. Let's go ahead and flip a Johnny. We need to go ahead and flip him. You're going to take our Guide of Souls. But how many things can we send flying this next turn? I think the answer is we can send all of... Oh my god. We might be able to send all of our stuff flying. Okay, Elegant Parlor. Fantastic. Let's put that into the yard. Let's play the other Guide of Souls. Let's 0. And let's make all this energy. Send it at face. Okay. So the good news is we're sending another thing up in the sky. An opponent's going to be down to a pretty low life total here. I mean, we can just go ahead and put him down to 1. Opponent's not getting out from under this. They're going to die to their One Ring on turn 5. Holy cow. Let's go. All right. So, sideboarding against Tron. Bone Crusher's obviously coming in. Sun Cleanser's terrible. Celestial Purge is terrible. Static Prison is a wee bit slow. Soul Guide Lantern is a wee bit weak. What do we want to bring in? I think these static prisons do have to be the inclusion. Let's take out Bombardment. Let's take out Fable. And let's cut a Ragavan and a Pride. I feel like those are the cuts there. Like, we want to take out as many of their big Eldrazi with the static prisons as we can. Alright, so let's reveal the companion. Terrible hand. 2 Ajani's, Lightning Bolt, 4 lands. Awful hand. We're gonna mull this one immediately. Alright, we happily mull. This hand's okay. I think the question is, what do we want to put back? And it might be the Galv Discharge. It's either Galv Discharge or Prison. And I kind of lean on putting back Prison. Alright, they revealed Devourer from their opener. Alright, so whatever they decide to put on top, they're not seeing until next turn. And I guess we can go Arena. Wow. Mine, Sowing, and Karn all bend. Okay, so this Ugin's Labyrinth is going to have this Devourer tucked under it. Who would have guessed? And they cast a Talisman so they can, like, turn to a ring. Alright, Arena's on the battlefield. I mean, it would be kind of sick if we could, like, turn to a amp or a Blood Moon off of this Amped Raptor. They go All Is Dust, Ugin's Labyrinth, both tucked under there. Oh, we drew the Blood Moon. We drew the Blood Moon. Why, deck? Okay, Amped Raptor, what you revealing? Sure. We'll cast a Johnny. Good news is next turn we can cast this Blood Moon. I mean, we are... I would love to just get a fetch land at some point. Alright, opponent's got 6 mana. Cool. You cast a Sowing Microspawn, you get rid of our Ether Hub. And you get an extra land for yourself. Not the worst thing. Urza's mine. Okay. Urza's Tower. Okay, 1 card. I mean, we just kill this, right? We just kill this. Okay. Let's yield until the next end step. I would love to just catch this opponent with their, like, guard down, essentially. Okay. 5, 6. Worm Coil. That was not what I was expecting. Okay. Well then. I mean, we're just gonna go ahead and cast this moon here. Okay, opponent's returning the All is Dust to their hand. I mean, sure. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, if you got it, opponent, you got it. There's an expedition map. So next turn you got it. And they do get to make some colorless tokens, which will be nice. Okay, so let's attack him with this Cat Warrior. Your Worm Coil's going to eat it. Yeah, we'll yield. We'll flip. We will do this. We'll 0. We'll deal 2. We will tap our mana the right way. And we'll finish dealing the rest of the damage to it. Okay. So now they're going to have Tron online. Yeah. Like, they definitely just go ahead and get Tron going. Cool. Good news is we can give our Flage haste next turn, which will be sick. Okay. Elegant Parlor. We're just going to go ahead and do that. We'll put this extra Static Prison into the yard. Okay. So, we'll do this. Shock that in. Get rid of the Death Toucher. And then we will go ahead and activate Arena. And then we'll make the energy. And we'll get rid of everything in the yard except for the extra static. And let's go ahead and kill that. I mean, they're going to be able to just get Devourer, play Devourer, exile our Flage, which hurts. Yeah. And to nobody's surprise, Flage bites it here. Okay. So they play an Expedition map. They got 2 cards in hand. They can do something with that Expedition map. I guess, get more Tron stuff. We have no desire to keep that static prison around longer. Let's go ahead and just play that guide. And we've got this Bone Crusher, so... Okay, you get extra Tron. Okay. They get Karn. They're going to go ahead and play the One Ring. And then it's just like next turn. Oh, they get Walking Ballista. Okay. Ballista's good. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so they get a Ballista with 5 counters on it. Five counters is pretty good. Can't lie there. Alright, so go ahead and ping it once. Go ahead and ping it twice. And I mean, they're gonna blow up our Bone Crusher if it tries to go in the sky. I feel like we just need to go ahead and shoot them for a little bit. Let's see what our draw is. I don't hate it. Let's bolt that. I mean, opponent can shoot us for 3 here. And then I feel like we need to go at Karn for 3. But we're not really doing a lot to help us here. Okay. I mean, Bone Crusher's just going to not really do a whole lot here, besides killing Karn and stopping them from looking in their sideboard for stuff. We would need a miracle to pull us out of this situation. And there's another Karn. So I think with that, we'll just go ahead and scoop it up. And look at our sideboard. And we'll bring in that Ragavan and we'll take out... Honestly, both of these static prisons seem super bad. It's like they're just not great. So we're just going to go back to our basic deck with, honestly, no Goblin Bombardments and say go. Like, it's nice to have as a backup, essentially, for everything that the Mardu deck has, but I don't know if it's going to be that worth it here in Boros. Alright, so we're going to be on the play for game number 3. Reveal Jagantha. We can turn 2 Moon. We absolutely keep this hand. Like, forget the redundant copy of Ragavan. Turn 2 Moon is all I need to see against Tron. Alright. Show me what you got, opponent. Alright, Devourer does its thing. And as long as the opponent doesn't have, like, Dismember, we love this. Okay, they exiled Forest, Labyrinth, and Ring. Eldrazi Temple. Okay. We hit our opponent. They lose a tower. We play turn 2 Blood Moon. And, I mean, I guess our opponent can fetch for a Boseiju. They cast Chalice on 1. Sick. We're going to go ahead and just attack him with Ragavan. There's an Ugin. We're going to go ahead and cast Fable. You know, this deck doesn't really have any, like, artifact removal either. They play an Ugin's Labyrinth. Okay. We will happily discard these 2 Flages. Actually, we'll just bin 1 and a monkey. Okay. So, what's opponent doing here? They're cracking Expedition Map. I mean, they're going to lose 4 here? And then we can just go... We can go a Johnny. We hit the tower on top of their deck. Yep. And we'll play both the Johnnies out. We'll keep this one. Triggers and stuff. Yes. And then we will 0, deal 5 to their face. And I don't know what they can do here. I mean, they can play the One Ring. And let's go. Opponent concedes. I'll see you guys in match number 5. Match number 5, and we're going to be on the draw. Reveal Gigantha. Oh, this hand's super risky. Oh, but I'm going to keep it. 1 lander, Ocelot, Ragavan, Bolt, Fable, Amped Raptor, and a Blood Moon. Oh, it's so risky. Alright, Cat Daddy off the top. Is not what we wanted to see. We'll play Ragavan, hope that it sticks and doesn't die. Opponent just went Swamp and Pass, which really makes me think that we are just playing against Mono Black Necro. Opponent plays another Swamp. There's a push. Okay. 22 lands, and we have not hit another. Unfortunate. Alright, we're going to play this Ocelot Pride and say go. Oh, the risky keep. The big risky keep. Opponent plays a Boggart Bog tapped. They're just thought seizing us. I mean, the biggest thing to take is probably Amped Raptor. Everything else is just like, ooh, 2s and 3s. No extra land. We are 10 cards deep and we have not hit another land. Not a good spot for us to be in. Okay. Opponent plays 4th land and they go for a grief. We're going to bolt the grief. I mean, they'd probably just take like a Johnny or Flage. Yeah. Blood Moon is super useless. Alright, we are now 11 cards deep. No second land. Alright, what's opponent got this time? Shelly. Shelly's good. Okay. So, I don't know if we're going to make it over all of this stuff. Okay. Well. There's that. We're going to go ahead and just play out this Arid Mesa and say go. If opponent plays a Necrodom or anything, a 1-ring, I feel like we just scoop immediately. Okay. I mean, we'll bolt it. Alright, we're going to play an Elegant Parlor. Nope. That Fable's going in the yard immediately. Okay, Sacred Foundry. Let that go. Alright. Does Ocelot Pride connect? Nope. Because there's the Orcish Bowmaster. Okay. I mean, honestly, now it just seems like we want to play this Fable out. This was such a greedy keep. Oh, no way. Does the opponent have something here? They have a March. Alright. We are getting absolutely wrecked right now, and we deserve it. Okay. So we're actually going to ship back 2 of those. Okay. Opponent gets to grow their stuff. Arena of Glory. And we're going to do this and get our Flage back with haste. Ragavan, Amped Raptor, a Johnny, Fable, Moon. Well, actually, let's Arena of Glory. And get this Flage. And now we need to make sure that we get all the creatures. So Ocelot, a Johnny, Amped Raptor, Ragavan, and Blood Moon. There we go. All right. So hit the orc army, and we win. Oh my gosh! Opponent scooped it up. Wow, that was unexpected. Okay, Celestial Purge, Static Prison, Bone Crusher, all coming in. Bombardment, Moon, and Monkey, all coming out. We had zero business winning that game. We had no business winning that. Oh my gosh, that was an early concession out of our opponent. I mean, okay, this hand is slow. But we don't want to mulligan against Mono Black Necro. If they turn one Grief Scam us, they're taking our Static Prisons. Without a doubt. They're griefing, they're not scamming. They'll take, okay, they take a Static Prison. They had no scam effect. They're surgicaling. Interesting that they didn't take the Flage then? Okay. Well, Elegant Parlor. We drew Amped Raptor for turn. We'll put it into the yard. We need fuel. We need fuel for this Flage. Boggart Bog, tapped. A Johnny's, the pickup for the turn. Play Ether Hub. Alright, let's play this Amped Raptor. What do we hit? We hit another Johnny. We'll cast it. And I guess next turn we can start really kind of cooking with it. Okay, they Fatal Push our Johnny. I mean, now we just play this Guide of Souls and the other Johnny. And we'll give the Raptor flying. Opponent's got 3 cards in hand. We've got a ton of damage in our hand. And opponent scoops it up. We got the 5-0. Let's go. All right, I'll see you guys in the wrap-up. Okay, so what do we think about this Boros energy deck? Honestly, the deck was super sweet. Despite the fact that I have some issues with the sideboard, the deck really functioned perfectly together. My change of the third Blood Moon to this Goblin Bombardment barely came up in a lot of the games. The one where it did show up, we were basically winning that game anyway. It's a little win more for sure, but it does feel like a really good enabler for a Johnny, the same way that Ob Nixilis feels like a good enabler for a Johnny to flip in the Mardu deck. But this deck is sweet.